Tonight, the pages of One True Loves unfold like a quiet evening breeze, guiding the heart to drift through its gentle, hopeful whispers.
At the family table, Emma, her fiancé, and her parents celebrate her father's birthday amid soft smiles and a favorite cashmere sweater. Dad muttered dismay at the sudden interruption. The family gathers around the table, the father grabbing all 5 spoons, insisting he will eat the cake alone.
Not so fast, Ashley. It's me, I'm alive, can you hear me, I'm coming home.
The sound of his voice folded into the quiet night, turning Emma's world into a trembling space between what had been and what might yet be. Before the main tale unfolds, the book presents a brief vignette about Emma and Jesse. It signals that their story is about falling in love and eventually falling to pieces. On Saturdays, the father would knock and remind me the Volvo, the family bus, was leaving in 30 minutes, even though it was heading to the family store. I began ringing up purchases at Blair Books, working Saturdays after school, while Marie drove her Jeep to get ice cream and told me that a first kiss would come in high school, promising that things would get better. In a moment of hesitation, Emma wondered who would man the register, and the conversation slipped into a simple agreement about the new boy Sam. Sam, tall, lanky, and with olive skin, was already deemed adorable by Marie, but Emma found it impossible to share that fondness. Marie barged into my room after 11, urging me out for a morning of errands and a frantic hunt for the perfect pair of jeans, suggesting she had some places in mind. I searched for her, found her buying earrings, and she explained that they had to be late for a swim meet with Graham Hughes, captain of the team. Sorry, no can do, we're gonna be late. At the poolside, one girl had been dragged by a friend and left alone, while Olive met her and asked what she was doing there. What are you doing here? I watched Olive point to a girl with a ponytail and a tall, muscular boy named Jesse Lerner, whose confidence made him feel at home on the swim team. I honestly think she might be the hottest girl in the world, like ever, like that has ever existed in all of eternity. She wondered how good it would feel to have that smile directed at her, to be the cause of a smile like that. Suddenly, her new crush on Jesse Lerner inflated into a massive, buoyant balloon, so strong it could lift the two of them into the air if they had grabbed on. After learning his name, Jesse seems to appear at every hallway corner and classroom, an unexpected pattern that feels oddly comforting. That's the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon.
I'm over him.
They bought 2 Snickers at the vending machine, shared a quiet moment, then Sam appeared, offering a ride, while a Friday shift at the store loomed, pulling him away from plans with Olive. As he made his way through the hall toward the double doors, he felt a quiet shift, recognizing that perhaps it was time to let friendships grow without forcing them. He wondered that maybe, instead of resisting what Marie liked, he could simply be himself, accepting whatever people brought into his life. Sam opened the car door, a simple act that felt like a quiet promise, and jazz music spilled out, filling the space. He showed me Charles Mingus, urging me to listen, but within seconds I knew the music wouldn't be for me. My father warned that my parents followed rules, making me work because I had been rude to my sister. He also warned that one day we would come to understand how much we truly need each other.
I'm so sorry to say this, but that's not a very good story.
She turns, embarrassed, and apologizes for hating jazz. Sam, calm, accepts it, noting she might still enjoy some of it, but she insists it isn't her thing. After they talk about the Romeo plus Juliet film, she inquires what Sam likes. He explains that his time is split between studying, marching band, orchestra, and jazz band, leaving little room for movies. Sam, with a thoughtful sigh, lists the 7 instruments he plays, from piano to trumpet, pausing to note that the harmonica is still a work in progress. She felt a sharp ache, as if seeing Jesse had left a wound in her heart she could not heal. The narrator, joined by parents, watched Sam take the stage, the sweltering heat pressing around them, while memories of past conversations and the father's gleam of pride lingered in the summer air. Did you see who's here? Olive had just spotted Jesse by the pool, and we were sipping watery beer in Billy Yen's kitchen, deciding to search for him. He was now the swim team captain with a state record, even after his breakup with Carolyn. Why do girls think that just because the cigarette smells vaguely of nutmeg, that I would want to smell it any more than a normal one? The night erupted into sudden, hushed chaos as we slipped into thorny bushes, the world shrinking to the quiet pulse of footsteps and distant sirens. In the darkness, I felt the sting of a thorn, the thud of my own breath, and a trembling mix of fear and exhilaration that carried me forward. Jesse Lerner urges the group forward. I told Jesse that my parents run a bookstore, that I don't enjoy reading books, and he smiled, gave me a high five, and we laughed about being a little drunk while pondering a fleeting kiss.
I hate reading books.
They weighed the strict rules his parents set, his own drive to break records, and the dream of leaving Acton for the Pacific Ocean.
Are you worried about your parents? I don't want to, embarrass you or something. I think I actually do have a thing for you, as of about an hour and a half ago.
He leaned in quietly, kissed me, and that summer became the start of a love that would endure. Emma turned, and Jesse stood on the sandy beach in Malibu holding a small ruby ring, asking her to marry him.
Will you marry me?
Jesse slipped a small, battered ruby ring onto her finger, a gesture simple yet profound. She smiled, affirming her love for him as she stared at the yellow gold band. Emma turns to find Jesse holding a ruby ring, its glow catching the waves, and he explains he had bought it 5 years ago, fitting her exactly.
Will you marry me?
They exchanged vows on Memorial Day weekend at Jesse's family cabin in Maine, choosing the familiar comfort of home over distant destinations. With her parents' help, her mother arranging the seaside setting by the lighthouse, her father securing the inn, and friends lending linens, she returned to her roots, a bird finally flying back to its nest. The day slipped by in quiet moments, from a mother's gentle touch on her dress to the soft whisper beside a wedding photograph.
I want to be alone with you.
She whispered promises of forever, her voice blending into the hush of the evening. After the bell announced their names, they stepped into a hall of lights, then journeyed to India, only to find that the man she loved would one day be gone. The day before their anniversary, she had a freelance assignment on a new hotel, while she and Jesse planned to tour it together. But Jesse was summoned to a 4-day shoot in the Aleutian Islands, and he dreamed of seeing glaciers, a quiet adventure she could understand even as she remembered the many travels that had filled their life. I had always imagined a life of spontaneous adventure, but the thought of staying in one place settled like an anchor in my mind. I asked Jesse to leave the Alaska trip and head to California instead.
I love you more than anyone has ever loved anyone in the history of the world. Do you know that? Do you know that Antony didn't love Cleopatra as much as I love you? Do you know that Romeo didn't love Juliet as much as I love you?
The anniversary morning found me nauseous, pressing to the bathroom, unsure whether it was food or a feeling of looming danger. Jesse never called, and the quiet in the house seemed to echo the sense that something terrible might be approaching. The commercial flight arrived in Anchorage, and the Cessna touched down on Akan Island. When the first helicopter departed, it never returned. The 4 aboard vanished over the North Pacific, and my husband, my one true love, was gone.
If anyone can swim to safety, it's our son.
They held on to the belief that the son would be found, despite the silence that followed. On a roof that overlooked the distant ocean, Emma watched waves crest while holding binoculars, hoping to spot her husband drifting toward the shore. I'm going to find him. Jesse is dead. She sobbed for so long that each day she woke with eyes swollen shut, refusing to dress, while her mother lifted her into the shower to wash her weight as she clung to the water. Emma stood beside Sam, each breathing slow and measured beneath the quiet sky. Together, they sought the quiet way to piece themselves back together. You wander into the family bookstore and break down beside Shel Silverstein's collection, feeling as though life has stopped, then decide to drive home hoping a new bed might help you shed the grief.
This one is tainted.
When her mother, eyes wet, decided to stay home with the babies, her parents, surprised yet supportive, offered their encouragement. After securing a job at Blair Books and finding purpose in its quiet aisles, she learned the twins were silently falling deaf and vowed to be an attentive sister and aunt. Oh please, we all know you're the favorite. Perfect Miss Emma who does. After settling into a new house near her parents, she learns sign language with Marie, spends quiet moments, meets Jesse's brother, finds tears absent, and realizes grief is a blessing, ultimately taking over the family store and reclaiming her name, only to be accused of favoritism by Marie. Marie notices your reflection and calls you a movie star, and when you look back, you finally see why. 6 months later, you pick up the piano, and a single step into a music shop sparks an entirely new path. She entered a second-hand instruments shop in Watertown, feeling out of place amid guitars, saxophones, and trumpets, her hands yearning for something to occupy them. She heard a brief greeting, though it faded quickly.
You're an expert then, I should be asking you questions.
He walked through the aisles, heart racing as the familiar name Sam surfaced, only to discover that the man he knew was not a clerk but a regular patron, and the realization settled quietly. The cashier offered a reassuring smile, letting him know all was fine.
Or if not that, maybe I could just take you out for a drink sometime.
The realization washed over her like a sudden ocean wave, and her stunned question turned the room into silence, leaving Sam's shoulders slump in quiet disappointment. Under the soft glow of the shop's lights, Sam's fingers traced chopsticks with a quiet certainty, turning ordinary keys into a gentle dance that made the room feel both intimate and infinite.
All right, now you go.
Emma realized the moment was more than an old friend meeting, feeling a sharp fear that it was a date, and she chose to postpone by saying it was a rain check while still expressing her interest. It's a rain check. I lay awake, thoughts turning, then reached for my phone on a quiet morning, sent a text inviting Sam to dinner, and felt a flutter of excitement mingled with nerves as his quick reply confirmed the meeting. I realized to open my heart to new love, I had to release the past, so I sat on my couch, poured my feelings onto paper, and wrote a letter to Jesse, letting sorrow transform into acceptance. Emma realizes she has outgrown the sadness that once held her, choosing to set it aside while keeping the love and memories in her heart. With that release, she reaches for a new love, inviting Sam into her future, and asks Jesse for forgiveness, stepping forward with an open heart. At the bar, Sam in a dark denim shirt and gray chinos, his cologne of wood and citrus, made it clear he liked me. And I, dressed in a black skirt and Russian red lipstick, felt my confidence rise.
You look great.
I watched myself play chopsticks on the bar, Sam noting a missed note and urging me to slow down until I could spot the difference.
That's okay, you're still very good for a beginner. Cheers to that.
Sam hovered over the bar, pretending to coax a melody from invisible keys, urging me to play the harmonica with confidence, and when I faltered, he steadied my hands and urged me to keep going, until finally he invited me to share a meal.
Sure you can.
They shared a gigantic carne asada burrito. Sam mused about living forever on Mexican food, and the conversation drifted to desserts as the restaurant's lights began to dim.
Are you saying the night is over?
They strolled through the evening city, the hum of traffic and distant chatter weaving into a quiet backdrop as they exchanged stories about school, family, and the small moments that mattered. Finally, by the Charles River, they found a quiet bench where the night air cooled their aching feet and the gentle flow of water mirrored the stillness settling over them. In the quiet of the riverbank, Sam confides that he once loved her in his teens and still does, feeling that it is a hopeful sign.
I think it's a good sign, though, that I was crazy about you at 16 and I'm still crazy about you now.
She whispered her love into his ear. He listened, then replied that he had always loved her, describing their bond as familiar territory and promising to hold it for as long as she needed. Sam's voice trembled as he whispered words of love. She nodded, her breath mingling with his, and together they slipped into the quiet night, each feeling the weight of newfound certainty. After a night at the symphony and a brief dinner, the pair walked through Boston streets, the woman feeling ravenous. They paused for fries, then shared a hamburger, and Sam confessed his love even as she ate.
I think I just love you that much, he said. That even standing next to you as you cram Burger King into your mouth is special to me.
Sam whispered that he was ready to wait until she was ready, offering marriage without the formality of a proposal.
Emma Blair, if you ever decide that you want to marry me, please tell me. because I would like to marry you."
After the kiss, tears welled, and their words of love echoed, binding them as they returned home, where the evening unfolded in gentle, shared intimacy. Later, champagne sparked laughter, the piano sang soft chords, and Sam's gentle reminder that the present mattered more than imagined ifs lifted the heart, as a kiss on her temple urged the night to continue. She wonders quietly how to protect what she holds dear while giving it space. She lies beside Sam, her eyes tracing the ceiling while Mozart curls at her feet, the quiet of a Wednesday morning settling over them. She confesses to Sam that she feels utterly confused, love still present yet nothing clear, and that Jesse will return tomorrow, while he listens quietly, the weight of uncertainty lingering. I hang up the phone, double-check it off, and lie back, wondering if I will ever feel only one emotion again.
"I know everything is really complicated right now. I'll do whatever you want. I need to know what you're thinking."
December in Massachusetts feels like the calm before a storm, thin cold air, and a gentle drizzle hinting at the first snow. While she, in black jeans and a cream sweater, waits for Jesse's arrival. Sam slipped out early, a stoic figure disappearing behind the front door, and she stepped into the quiet glow of Blair Books, lights brightening as she opened the store to greet the day and the long-awaited reunion. Jesse Lerner, vanished after a helicopter crash, was found at sea near Midway Atoll and will soon return to Massachusetts.
"We cannot tell you the depth of the pain of losing a child, and we cannot begin to describe the relief in finding out he's coming home."
She whispered her love, the words echoing with the memory of Jesse's return. He arrives early at the airfield, finds the parking lot empty, and his phone rings with Olive's face on the screen as she asks how he is, telling him the plane will land in 15 minutes. Olive offers comfort and even suggests sending flowers, but he explains he already has a husband and fiancé, prompting her to laugh at the absurdity while her caring nature shines even in awkward moments. A white SUV pulls in, revealing Jesse's parents, and I quietly say I have to go. Olive's long-held phone call fills the space, and when she hangs up, I feel the weight of my own solitude. He admits to himself the guilt and anger that churn inside, recognizing the betrayal of his own promises as a heavy blanket upon his chest.
"Let's go, Jesse's going to land any minute."
Through the glass, a plane glides low and settles on the runway, its arrival sending a nervous tremor through the observer. When the door opens, Jesse emerges, exhausted yet striking, and the sight feels more beautiful than any expectation. He watches as the familiar man steps off the plane, his once soft face now sharp and weathered, and the sudden reunion feels like a gentle reignition of a long-lost flame, a brief return to a time when the world was fair.
"You are a sight for sore eyes."
The room swelled with family, tears, and laughter, while I watched Jesse return, feeling like a stranger in my own home. When he drew near, he asked quietly if my car was there, and I answered that it waited just outside, the distance between us shrinking for a breath. Jesse's quiet smile cradles her as he whispers his love, holding her close until she feels the world soften around them.
"I love you too. What do you want to know?"
A weary driver lets the heat flow, watching Jesse's guarded face while questions hang in the air. On a lonely stretch of rocks, Jesse gathered rainwater, ate raw fish and barnacles, his body learning to endure the endless, harsh sea. When the thought of never being found settled in his heart, he resolved to train for the ocean, each stroke a quiet promise that he would not stay trapped. Jesse told them to go now. Emma says she is engaged to another, and the years of distance settle between them, turning the quiet road into a place of raw honesty. Emma, shivering in the cramped car, finally frees herself as Jesse pulls her sleeve, and the familiar warmth of their shared past envelopes her.
"I love you, Emma. I've always loved you. I never stopped loving you. I'm incapable of it. I'm incapable of loving anyone but you."
Emma feels the depth of their love, the quiet certainty that no one else knows her like he does, and she wants only to revel in it.
"Here is what we are going to do. How about you drop me off at my parents'? It's getting late and my family is probably wondering where I am. I can't keep them wondering where I am."
The cool wind wraps around her as she steps into the apartment, the elevator's soft thud echoing, and Sam greets her with a look of relief. Sam smiles, relief evident on his face as he greets her. Sam, after checking on Jesse's condition, pivots to ask if I kissed him.
Did you kiss him?
In the kitchen, Sam shows off a peculiar upside-down butter dish, explaining its French origin and organic, grass-fed qualities, while I watch the butter sit chilled in a puddle of water.
It's not Land O'Lakes if that's what you're asking.
Emma and Sam turn the evening into a quiet ritual, Sam flipping sandwiches with gentle flicks, while offering a chilled beer to soften the air. They sit close at the bench, sharing a sandwich and soup, their casual banter about the soup versus fried chicken, and Sam quietly thanks Emma for her skillful flips. He leans into her, the world dissolving into their quiet rhythm, each touch a silent promise. He needed her. She wonders if she had never met Sam, she might have stayed with Jesse, but she chose a new dream, realizing she cannot love too.
It's like I'm 18 all over again.
She whispered a soft, shhh to calm him, then spoke her truth that love seeped into every word and that she could not deny the pull of being together. Sam confessed his love, telling her he could not deny the pull of being together. She gently lets go, offering Sam the freedom to choose, and vows to step back into a quieter life while he seeks what he truly loves.
I want to be with someone who lives for me. I want to be with someone who considers me the love of her life. I deserve that.
She walks back into the kitchen, kisses him, and watches his tears fall so slowly that each drop can be felt before it reaches his chin.
That's what it means to be free.
The late-night light of the driveway seems to welcome me even though I only arrive at 2 in the morning, and I choose to stay quiet, avoiding the waking of my parents. I slip inside the quiet house, leave a small note by the table, remove my boots to keep the silence, and quietly settle into my bedroom, letting the night hold everything inside. A quiet, surprised murmur rises as she enters, her mother asking what she has brought, and the parents offer a weary apology. If you want my 2 cents, you have the unique ability to love with your whole heart even after it's been broken. That's a good thing. Don't feel guilty about that. At just before 6 a.m., a light flickered on in Marie's house, a quiet signal of the day beginning. I slipped the engagement ring into my purse, slipped on pants and boots, and stepped out the front door into the night. In the soft light of a 6:30 morning, Marie sits beside Ava in the open bathroom, coaxing her to relax into the potty while the aunt observes from the threshold, her calm voice and patient signs soothing the twins. She offers tea. The kettle whistles as Marie pours a steaming cup of English breakfast, reminding me that progress is simply putting one foot in front of the other. I'm honestly not sure. Thank you for saying that. The two friends gently trace how their tastes and choices had long mirrored each other, realizing that a part of each wanted to be the other. Their laughter dissolves into an offer of steady support, as Marie invites him to reach out whenever he needs, while he quietly prepares to leave for home. They sat over the table, the air filled with the memory of dishes long gone, and he, with a quiet smile, recounted the places he had missed. She told him the old spots were gone, new flavors waited ahead, and though his eyes flickered with a quiet sorrow, he pressed on, trusting that the future held fresh tastes. She finds herself reflecting on how the time after his leaving has reshaped her, wondering if she could go back to the adventurous, wonder-filled version she once believed she could be, yet she knows she is no longer that person.
I guess I did say that, I tell him, but I like them now. I missed you, Emma. I missed us. I missed your stupid eyes and your awful lips and that super annoying thing you do when you look at me like I'm the only person that's ever mattered in the history of the world. I missed your very unadorable freckles.
The two of them kiss again, their warmth both a familiar comfort and a fresh excitement, and in that moment they feel the possibility of a future that might mend what time had torn. Jesse smiles, answers my tentative yes, and waves goodbye as I drive away, the parking lot fading behind us while his words of love linger in the cool night air. At 10:11 I arrive at Blair Books, greet the early morning customer, apologize for the early opening, and a quiet smile spreads across my face as the store lights glow softly. Emma pulled her father aside at the store, explaining her plans to move to Maine with Jesse, and he listened with cautious concern. "What do you mean you're going to Maine with Jesse?" They draw nearer, a kiss shared and then gently released, and the day continues with light chatter about cats, the weight of guilt, and a quiet resolve to leave the burden behind. The evening settles as a familiar song promises comfort, and their shared love is quietly affirmed, steady as the soft hum of a distant piano. Sam steps into the night, telling Emma that he will keep the ball in his court and that she should not call him until he is ready to hear her choice. Sam says goodbye to Emma. "I have been playing coy with others, yet the real task is to stop playing coy with myself. I am set to pick one, though the choice still lingers." The chapter is titled Love and Maine. It hints at turning back time. The shop's lights dim as the protagonist, still lingering in the dark stockroom, hears a call from Jesse and sets out to leave thoughts of Sam behind.
"I thought I'd meet you at the store."
She smiles, uncertain whether the gesture is kind or not, gathers her belongings, and moves toward her parents' house, where the familiar cat painting and the unchanged surroundings feel both strange and reassuring, all while a man named Jesse waits with a calm presence.
It's weird to see that some things look exactly the same way they did before.
Sophie and Ava arrive, bundled in sea green and yellow-orange pajamas, eyes wide, as Marie gently reminds them that they're not supposed to be up. "You two know you're not supposed to be up." They pause beside the highway, sharing a greasy meal that feels like a small, nostalgic bridge to their high school prom, a night when she first tried to be sexy and he simply wanted privacy.
"You were the hottest girl there."
I turn the prom photograph over, the bright red dress and fake butterflies still vivid, and the city lights beyond the glass window flicker like distant memories.
"That was the day we decided we were never going to make a backup plan, so that we had to pursue our dreams."
I imagined the pain could evaporate if I shoved it hard enough into the box, hoping to find it empty one day. Now the lid feels like it might finally come off after 3.5 years, and even Jesse's box, which seems packed tighter, reminds me of that fear. At 2 a.m, the cabin welcomed us with its warm wood scent, a quiet reminder that some places, though unchanged, echo new memories.
Jesse breathes softly about the wedding.
Jesse pours a glass of Hendrick, the cabin's old fire and the scent of wood settling around us, as the ice clatters from a forgotten freezer. We toast, the flames grow gentle, and amid laughter and apologies the room grows warmer, the silence between us echoing a shared past.
"I think we should sleep together."
Jesse slides the button of Emma's jeans, removes the fabric from her hips, takes his own off, and presses his body onto hers, whispering that he missed the feel of her and the way her hands and legs were around him. They lie naked, entwined in sheets, breathing together in a slow, purposeful rhythm, as Jesse quietly says again, and they move as a steady flame, unhurried and intimate. The morning light creaks in as the front door closes. I find my bed empty and slip into Jesse's shirt, the scent of coffee mingling with his minty breath, and we exchange teasing remarks before he lifts me for a kiss, then gently reminds me of the lingering affection that keeps him waiting.
"I have waited years to smell your morning breath. Everything about you, morning breath, stray hairs, I love it all."
In the soft light of morning, she shared a quiet toast, joking about breakfast for lunch, and then gently planned a walk to a lighthouse, wrapped in the warmth of shared plans. Breakfast for lunch. In the biting cold, they huddled close, Jesse pulling her into his coat and warming her hands while memories of their love faded and resurfaced.
On the count of 3.
A gentle warmth flickers as they walk toward the lighthouse, the cold sea wrapping around them, a moment that feels as if it could still be beautiful.
"That was the happiest day of my life."
Candles flickered softly as they shared a modest meal of wine and lobster, Jesse suggesting they leave the quiet table for the night. They drove into the wind-swept night, Jesse's car humming, while she waited alone in the quiet car. A quiet email lands in Tina's inbox, warning that the wedding deposit could be forfeited unless she cancels before month end, a reminder that her plans hang in the balance. The weight of that message presses on her thoughts of Sam and Jesse, leaving her wondering whether returning home will truly bring peace or simply shift the focus to another loss. Jesse, unflinching, slides his documents into the officer's hand while the night winds howl outside.
License and registration.
Jesse nods in agreement.
You changed your name back.
We pulled back to the cabin, the silence between us easing into a shared laugh as Jesse suggested we call it even, and the night settled around us with quiet warmth. Emma, refusing to have sex on the kitchen counter, calls the idea gross, and later she speaks of the leftover pizza. Her name changed to Emma Blair, her bookstore, and her wish to settle, while Jesse listens quietly and she invites him to lie down together. I'm not going to have sex with you on the kitchen counter. After the first light of morning, the snow has melted and the wind has quieted, and I open my eyes to a silent, peaceful world. Jesse, in his easy comfort, tells me we're snowed in. We laugh, and in the warm steam of the shower, we share a quiet conversation about leaving Los Angeles and finding home here. Emma feels the weight of missing Sam, a quiet ache that grows with each day she spends alone.
How are you?
The cold rushes in as Jesse turns off the shower, a towel wrapped tight, and the silence is broken only by the hiss of toast and the clink of cups as Emma heads downstairs for coffee. I'm starting to think you don't want to be here. You know what? I gotta tell ya, I don't think it's that complicated. In their quiet conversation, Jesse admitted that he had loved her even when she thought he was gone, and she explained that she has changed since he left, no longer the woman he once knew.
When I thought that you were dead, if I had known you were alive, I would have waited every day for you.
Emma feels the widening chasm between them, realizing that time has made them strangers. Jesse's fist against the pillows echoes the storm inside, and the quiet that follows presses them toward an honest, if painful, conversation. She realizes that loving her former selves keeps them apart, that true love cannot be bottled or forced.
If you love me, Emma, then be with me.
Emma watches Jesse from the window, his hand trembling as he opens the envelope he has carried since the day he disappeared. She retreats inside, heart pounding, as he reads her farewell letter, knowing that her words may seal their separation. I linger in memories of his salty scent after swims, his smile that crinkled his eyes, and the sharp pain that felt like punishment, yet was love itself. I learn that grief is a shell I once wore. When I outgrow it, I set it down, carrying only the love, no longer the sadness, and step forward into light. Emma writes a gentle letter asking for Jesse's blessing, declaring that no one could replace him even as she seeks another love, and signs it simply with, "Love, Emma." Later, she tells him about watching the ocean from the roof, believing he would surf to shore, how she was told he was dead, and that both of them were looking at the same horizon, waiting for one another. He feels broken and lost, struggling to keep his fragile world together.
I messed up, Emma.
Emma pulls an old box of Earl Grey from the kitchen, offers a quiet cup of tea to Jesse, and invites him to keep talking while she listens.
I've been trying to put everything back the way it was before I left so it can be as if it never happened, but that doesn't work. I mean, obviously it doesn't, I know that.
Emma and Jesse admit their love has changed, recognizing that the end is inevitable and holding each other tightly. They choose to stay together for another day, savoring the present without worrying about the future. Jesse builds a fire, then settles on the sofa, wrapping his arm around me. The snow outside drifts quietly, creating a gentle hush. Jesse chuckled, recalling the faint silhouettes of snow angels drifting in the quiet. Jesse called out, asking for a truce. Later, they settled by a fire, sharing wine and a book while laughing softly as the sun dipped below the trees.
If I ever come around to your way of thinking, Jesse says, I promise I'll find you and tell you.
He remembers how she has guided his choices, how their love feels like the first breath of a new season, and they share a quiet kiss before turning to soft drinks and a book. She leans over him, her lips touching his as she senses this will be the last warmth shared between them. After the quiet intimacy, she hands the book back, and he reads the final words while she drifts to sleep in his arms, the fire's glow softening their shared silence. Jesse wakes to the sun and snow, sips cold coffee while the fire still smolders, and together they tidy the kitchen before heading out. They leave the cabin, 2 tracks of footprints trailing beside them, a quiet reminder that Jesse remains alive, yet no longer mine. In this passage, the author reflects on how to find peace amid the inevitable endings of love. The suggestion is that embracing the finite nature of relationships can gently lead to inner harmony. Emma Blair sits in the car, her mind drifting to Sam, her heart both clear and aching, as she accepts her own identity and the lingering sorrow of loss. The road pulls them toward New Hampshire, while Jessie muses about returning to Santa Monica, the distance between them a quiet, inevitable goodbye. Emma sits in the car, the radio low, feeling the weight of a phone that never rings and the ache of a decision that has pulled her from Sam to the uncertain horizon of Jessie.
What was I saying? Oh, right. If Sam doesn't take you back, I will personally kick his ass.
The car pulled into the front lot of Blair Books, and in the soft light of evening, the two of them shared a quiet game of I Spy, their laughter a gentle echo of the last moments they had together. I love you, I say. I've always loved you. I'll always love you. The grocery aisle hummed with the faint chatter of shoppers, while a distant cry of children floated across the room. When I stood at the register, I told them I missed Sam, and the quiet decision settled around me.
See, I knew it wasn't the right time to talk about this.
She agreed to become assistant manager, hoping to share the store and grow closer together. Marie waves it off, reminding that a rejection is not a reason to keep good news hidden. When the man settles on Little Women, the parents simply ring him up, and the shop returns to its quiet, unhurried rhythm. I step into the back lot, the scent of a forgotten sandwich lingering, and see Sam in the parking space, his eyes red and heart heavy.
Sam whispers, his words barely reaching the air.
I gently reveal to Sam that I love him, that I wish to marry him, and that I will leave Jessie behind, and he listens with quiet acceptance.
I love you, sweetheart.
Sam smiles, the weight of the day lifting, and in that quiet moment, he offers a gentle, unwavering affirmation as the car pulls forward. The woman tells herself that if she gives all of herself and loves with her whole heart, even after pain, she can receive many true loves as a gift of bravery. She accepts that the path to love after heartbreak is messy and painful, yet the effort brings great, meaningful, true love into her life. The second wedding wore a pale lavender dress that felt like a decision made by someone who had already lived a full life. While friends and family gathered, sea animal themes floated in conversation, and the night cooled with a distant party. A sudden call from Santa Monica cut through the summer hush. A familiar voice asking how she was and noting the missing taste of Acton, leaving her feeling both close and strangely distant. She sits in the front seat, the radio muted, as Jessie's words drift through the quiet of the car, reminding her that loving again does not erase the beauty of a past love. Jessie speaks of the impossibility of a lifelong partnership, yet celebrates the memory of their wedding day, affirming that even fleeting love can be meaningful. I thank my grandmother Linda Morris, whose life in Acton and the crisp October air of her memorial made me realize how deeply I love my roots. I also extend heartfelt thanks to my editors Greer Hendricks and Sarah Canton, my agent Carly Waters, and the many others who help bring my stories to life. The page opens with the title, One True Loves, a Q&A with Taylor Jenkins Reid, setting a conversational tone about love. It promises insights into the author's views on romance, presented in an intimate interview format. He weighed Emma's choice between Jessie and Sam, felt one path more truthful, and settled on it while keeping his own feelings neutral. He grew as a writer by avoiding old patterns, crafting fresh challenges, and teaching that true love is not bound to lasting romance. An ending does not signal failure. After a decade away, the author returned to Acton and felt the pull of the town's warm kindness and the beauty of its fall leaves, realizing she had never truly honored this place before. She recalled a teenage adventure in Willow Books, where an older woman quietly delivered a hard-to-find copy of the Vagina Monologues, a moment that marked her first unequivocal feminist awakening. The story hovers over Emma's quiet suffering, with only enough of Jessie to keep her grief in focus, turning the tale into a portrait of the woman left behind. Emma's winding journey toward owning a bookshop is woven as a slow, messy path, reflecting the author's insistence on realistic, layered characters.
And as the day gives way to a quiet night, the story settles into gentle silence, allowing the heart to breathe softly into the calm that follows.